Hello, hello, everybody. A wonderful good day to our loop faces. This is very exciting. It's a revival. For those who know this concept that have been with us during COVID, they know what we're doing, what we're aiming for. For those who have not, a very warm welcome. This is the revival, and we are very excited about it. It's the revival with fantastic friends and partners that I have invited and that have kindly agreed on joining. We will be doing loop faces every Thursday at 1 o'clock CET time. That's so PM, with different subjects that are might be of interest to you or not, but we are picking up a broad luxury travel subject. Like the next week, we will have the rise of the Polish luxury market. Why is Poland booming so much? We're going to have unlocking the Swiss outgoing luxury travel market. What's so special about Swiss and how can we capture them? Or a very, very sensitive subject, but close to my heart, between safety and longing. Travel remains part of the life. How do the Ukrainians travel nowadays? How is the business being diluted, etc.? And many, many things more. We have a lot of ideas and people approaching us with, please, can you do a talk about this? We would like to learn. And this is something we have in common here. We want to share our experience. We want to learn from each other. And I'm really happy, guys, that you are all here, also our audience. If you want to share afterwards, or you cannot stay in the entire time, we will record it so you can listen to it. So let's begin. And because we're going to have it on YouTube, by the way. So that's what I wanted to also mention. Now let's start. Let's start with this very special edition. It had to be first because of the recent happenings. So in our today's episode, with the title Weathering the Storm, Leadership and Luxury Travel in Uncertain Times, we navigate a subject that's been on everyone's mind. How resilient is the luxury travel in times of geographical tension? And what does leadership look like when the world watches a region in crisis? And we've all experienced that. Just weeks ago, we witnessed this terrible tension between Iran and Israel. Headlines flashed, everything was in the news. We were sitting here in Germany and saying, oh, what are our friends in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, everywhere doing? We were concerned, of course. But today we will hear from those on the ground who didn't just react to the crisis, they led through it. How does the leadership here maintain trust, inspire their teams, and prepare for growth while the world holds its breath? Tough one. And how do you deliver serenity, security, and still have to deliver unforgettable experiences for our luxury client? And not in a perfect, but in a real one, in a real world. So I have the honor to introduce to you fantastic friends and colleagues here in this talk today. So first of all, Jyoti. Jyoti is the general manager for the Gulf region from TRAVCO, a joint venture company of TUI. Jyoti has been in the UAE since ever, I believe, 1978, a long time, very experienced, and was managing SNTTA, Emir Tours and Travel, based in Sharjah at that time. For the past 16 years, Jyoti has been the helm of TRAVCO, head office based in Dubai, and handles luxury all over. It's the individuals, it's the couples, it's the groups, so a luxury expert. And by the way, she also speaks fluently German, which you are saying is not the case, but okay. And I know that when stress becomes too big, she is also a yoga practitioner, which helps a lot. Welcome, Jyoti. Then our next gentleman is Alexander Pichel, German. General Manager at the Grand Hyatt Abu Dhabi Hotel and Residences, Emirates Pearl. A very seasoned general manager, seasoned in experiences, who gathered his experience in Europe, the Middle East, China, Indonesia, Thailand, and Russia, with very well-known brands like Hyatt, Kempinski, Rosewood, Rockefort, Fairmont, just to name a few. So a very, very great welcome to you, Alexander, and you are our man in Abu Dhabi today. Welcome. And then Jeroen. general manager at the Ritz-Carlton Dubai, and also lots of great stops in his career. He has experiences in Brussels, Chicago, did the pre-opening of the St. Regis Abu Dhabi, moved to Dubai to join Palace Downtown as a hotel manager with several general manager positions also for various address hotels in Dubai. And now already since almost 7 years, Jeroen has taken the leadership at the Ritz-Carlton Dubai and initiate many improvements like the new F&B outlet at the beach, for example. And on top, I would like to congratulate you because you have won 2 recent awards from the Hoteliers Middle East, Best General Manager UAE, and recommended Best General Manager for Resource. And I loved your comment on LinkedIn because you said it's me and my team. So that's perfect. Now, yeah, welcome. We would like to start. I would like to start with Alexander, actually, in our great Abu Dhabi. And Alexander, Abu Dhabi has been a very steady destination in a region that sometimes faces turbulences as we see now. Thank goodness not too often. Can you share how your hotel and team cultivates an atmosphere of calmness, reassurance for international guests and traveler, and especially during the last 3 weeks? How was this for you? We want to learn from you and see how you handle a situation like that.
Yeah, appreciate it, Astrid. Thanks very much for having me today. So it's nice to be together with all of you. And nochmal ganz liebe Grüße auch aus Abu Dhabi an die Kollegen in Deutschland. Somit freue mich. Vielen Dank. I've only joined here 4 months ago, so it's slightly different. As you said, I was in China before. We had our fair share of difficulties in China. But here in Abu Dhabi now, during the time when the geopolitical influence came in, we had quite a few people from either. Actually, we had people from Israel, but we had people from Iran. So that was one part where we needed to reassure the people as well, because specifically the people in Iran, and I had some employees as well from Iran who were not able to reach their families anymore. And it was very difficult, very devastating, a difficult time. So we were there to comfort them. One, obviously, our staff as well, on the psychological side as well, where we were looking and helping them. And at the same time, obviously, as well, with our guests, where we have been as well spending time with them in the Pearl Lounge if anybody wanted to talk. And we reached out to them to see whatever was possible to help them. So that was from our side. And it was very much appreciated from the guests we had that we again stepped out of our comfort zone, because it goes beyond as well. It is, and I had it at the time in 9/11 when we had all the American customers with us in my hotel, and then putting on televisions in the lounge and supporting then the families and also there are many of those incidents sadly which happened during our lifetime. But this one now specific was a bit different, because a lot of people got stranded as well at the time when the air was closed and for the airspace out of Abu Dhabi, and I guess it was the same in Dubai at the time. And then we've been in contact with the Abu Dhabi airport to obviously try and see if we can support in any way, not making money, but supporting obviously the people who were stranded and were not able to get out to find, and all Abu Dhabi hotels were then working together. And I was with them until 3 o'clock in the morning, supporting and talking to the airport and organizing everything to ensure that people in need are being looked after. Luckily, the airspace opened up again, and many of the airlines managed to get the people out. But we are all there together, my team as well. Then see people came back from home, from the dormitory, and then prepared the rooms which needed to be prepared, potentially food which maybe needed to be prepared. So we were there for our guests and in time of need. So I hope
that's
that helps.
very reassuring. Absolutely, definitely. Jyoti, you are in a different position. You are not a hotel, obviously, so you depend very much on all the people, your companies around. But tourism is often affected first by all these global terrible events, yet it has the power to build bridges, which is lovely. And this is why we're probably all in the tourism industry and love it so much. So how does TRAVCO navigate uncertainty while continuing to inspire travelers to explore the region? Because we need to move on, all of us. How are you doing this? We cannot hear you, darling.
Thank you very much, everyone, for the invitation, and look forward to be a part of this panel discussion. Let us start with a statement, with a strong statement, power to build bridges, which is very pivotal to the tourism industry. At TRAVCO, we apply this not only for our external customers, but it also extends to our internal customers who are our employees. And they are the core team behind TRAVCO's success. They are also a classic example I can talk to you about is during the pandemic of COVID-19, our utmost concern was the well-being of our team who have been working with us for many years to ensure that they work from home and they stayed with the family in their home countries, especially working with digital tools and platform. And as we know, post-COVID, Dubai was one of the first countries to open its doors to international tourism. And it was this existing loyal team that played a very key role in this recovery. And they worked with double commitment and enthusiasm to welcome the guests back to Dubai. This just proves that at the end of the day, the team is core to the success of any organization. Mm-hmm. We actively bounced back, supporting our international partners, again, loyally working with us for many years, aligning closely with the government organizations and protocols, and also ensured that the guests felt safe, informed, and inspired during these difficult times that they were staying in this region. On another note, the difficult period always brings out the best in you. And we were also prompted to be more innovative and creative to explore new regions, because sustenance was an important thing. And it's only by looking at new regional markets or new segments of the business that we could continue during the difficult times. And again, working with close hotel partners who are here on the panel, we developed staycations for the local population across the Emirates of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah. As you know, there was travel possible within the UAE during the COVID times. And also this was supported with, we've supported the government with accommodation and logistics and transportation, which is our core business for some of the guests that were quarantined in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. Additionally, we had an opportunity to embrace and support an international sporting events, which would sound a little bit strange during COVID. And that was the cricket tournament organized by the Indian Premier League. And Dubai was once again ready to host them. So we sprung into action and said, okay, we will support you with making hotel accommodation and provide you the ground logistics that you need for the 3 weeks of the event. I think this is what it says, that during global uncertainties, which are several in the Gulf region, as both Jeroen and Alexandra will agree, and you will agree as well, our focus has always been to be nimble, adaptable, with open and proactive communication, both with our internal and external customers. And I think this is what has positioned TRAVCO as a resilient organization in the Gulf region. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Yeah, it gives a great confidence because you guys really know how to handle crisis for sure. And that brings me to Jeroen, based in Dubai, obviously. Dubai is a city that constantly involves, and Jyoti just said you were the first ones opening up after COVID. So what kind of role does hospitality industry play in promoting a sense of normality in general, optimism and cultural openness in our tourism industry? How do you see that?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and guten Mittag. Yeah, listen, I'm listening to both of them, and what Alexander experienced last week, I don't think we experienced anything like that. You know, when I listen to all these stories, I really think that somehow in Dubai at least, we're kind of used to all these things these days, and we're so adaptable and we react quick. You know, we kind of know what we need to do if another attack happens somewhere in the Middle East region. It kind of like another day in the office. It felt actually to me like that last week. Yeah, it was a bit more severe, and as I said, I was actually in the air on my way back to Dubai when it happened. But the next day I was at work, and it was business as usual. And the guests, yeah, they were concerned, but I think if you are just very open and honest with them, and you also tell them, listen, we don't have the answers, but we're here to assist. You know, a diverse workforce. We have 60 nationalities working here, so for sure there is a German that works here. They can talk to the Germans, and you know, you like to talk to your country people because it reassures you a little bit. But if, you know, going back to your question, you know, what does the hospitality industry, the role in promoting normality? I mean, as I said, it kind of feels like normal. So, I mean, Dubai is resilient. We adapt, we withstand, we recover. We work very closely with the Dubai Tourism Office. You know, it's kind of a business model that, you know, when we're in, no, I shouldn't say that word maybe, but when we're in the shits, we're all here to help each other. And that is with DMCs, that's with hotels, that the government, we're all one pea in a pot. And it just works. So an optimism, you know, I've lived in Dubai not as long as Jyoti, but 15 years and going, and there is a sense of optimism here. Everybody that comes here is excited. Everybody that comes to work here wants to work here. We want to be the best. We want to have great service. So I think Dubai in general is a very optimistic city. And you know, yeah, we saw a dip last week, but it's the same as every other time. We see a dip for 2 days and then business starts to pick up again. And yes, this has affected the month of July a little bit. But for Q4, we're seeing great pickup. And I have no doubt that, you know, this will be another amazing year. And then in regards to cultural openness, you know, how does that affect, is that affected by the hospitality? As I said, we have 60 people from different countries working in this hotel. So it starts with the team, as Jyoti said. And then we have guests from all over the world. And somehow, and I say to my personal friends, you know, when I go back to Holland, because that's where I'm from, I can feel the racism. I can feel the tension, you know. And here, there is nothing like it, but you've all been here most likely, and I think you see it. Do we make fun of each other's nationality? Of course we do, you know. The Dutch are stingy, the Indians go like this, the Germans are like this. We all know that, but at the end, it's not racism. But yeah, I don't know. I think Dubai is a great place, and I think we're always positive, and we take it as it is. We're adaptable, we're very agile, and yeah, it's just, I don't know what you're all waiting for, just coming over, and life is normal. Life really is normal. It's actually great.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, you know, this is exactly what I wanted to also communicate with this talk, because, you know, we are sitting here and it's like you see all this news and you guys are.
And that's it. You see way too many headlines on Instagram, and then you're here and you're like, okay, there is nothing going on.
Absolutely. Alexander, you raised your hand. You want to jump in here? Or
no, I just wanted to second that. It's exactly what Jeroen has said. I think it was only the temporary part, and what I wanted to say is obviously that we are there to support in the same way as the other two have been mentioning. We've seen, and you've been here. I was here 20 years ago in Dubai during the time when we obviously had the invasion, and everybody was talking about it, but the UAE is bouncing back faster than anybody else.
Yeah.
Is that it has always been over all these years, during COVID, during the Iraq crisis, now with Iran, and all that is quickly forgotten, and everybody comes back. And I think Abu Dhabi, I was told as well when I came, was just voted as one of the safest or the safest city in the world. And then that's exactly what it is. It's that, you know, you are safe, you feel good. It's that you don't feel discriminated. It's just the perfect place to be. Something which actually I want to add to, and maybe Jeroen, I'm sure you will agree as well, is actually Ramadan. Ramadan as well. The other thing, where obviously everybody believes that, you know, it's the time where we maybe should be not traveling to the Middle East is right the opposite, especially in the UAE. It's life like normal. You know, there's no concern about traveling and eating and drinking and else. I said everything, all restaurants, businesses as usual. So it actually is the best time to come.
Yeah, very true.
Best weather,
Absolutely.
actually.
Yeah. And I think it's just the media, the social media and the news magnifies or amplifies the impact. The perception becomes much greater than the actual reality on the ground. And I think sometimes in times of crisis, the media is not doing us any favor.
No, they don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said it before, Astrid, to give one example. I was at the time when in Egypt some years ago, when there was the unrest on the square outside in the middle of Cairo. My wife and I, we were living in Saudi at the time, and we flew to Egypt to meet some friends, and we drove past that square, that roundabout, which obviously was in the news for many times. We went then and stayed at the hotel. We switched on the television, and CNN was all over the place about the unrest at that square right now at this moment in time. And I looked at my wife, I looked out of the window, and I said, I'm sorry. They said, we just passed it 5 minutes ago. There's nothing like that happening at all. So it's
yeah.
We need to take it, even the CNNs and the BBCs, we need to take it with a pinch of salt. I'm sure all of us can travel. But UAE is one of the safest places to be on earth. So traveling here is the best thing to do.
Definitely. Jyoti, did you have any examples on hesitating partners or clients that you turned the trust? I mean, how do you do that? I mean, people are afraid, you know. Yeah.
I think I can relate to that as well. As I said, the recent Gulf crisis was short-lived, and also it happened in the summer months, fortunately, that's not the word, unfortunately, but the number of clients in the destination were relatively less compared to a normal full-blown tourist season. But even here, the clients were very anxious. The clients who were in the ground were very anxious, and we had tour operators constantly calling us to say, look, what will happen? And that prompted us, and that was a good thing, to set up a 24/7 helpline. As Jeroen said, there are so many multilingual staff working, 200 nationalities working in Dubai. And with the help of that, we had a helpline to support the clients, to communicate with the clients and constantly tell them that, look, the ground situation is safe. The airports are operating, the airlines are operating. So if you want to leave, we can definitely help you to depart at your wishes, at your convenience and wishes. But the segment that impacted, I think, all of us, which I presume that Jeroen and Alexander would agree, was the MICE business. The group and the MICE business were definitely apprehensive, and even they wanted to cancel the future events like happening in Q3 or Q4. And that took a little bit of hand-holding and trying to explain to them to say, look, we will talk with the other stakeholders like hotel partners, other suppliers, and we give you the facility that let's keep the event on the books. And you have, and in case of any escalation, we give you the option to operate it, postpone it, and operate it within a span of another 1 year. And also to secure the financial deposits so there is no loss of money from a corporation point of view. I think this is something we all have done in our businesses over the 5 or 6 crises that the region has gone through. And that was probably the safest formula to extend to the MICE business.
Definitely. What nationalities have you are the most ones we might be losing first in going to the Middle East? Who wants to, Alexander, or do you want to emphasize on that?
Who we potentially would have lost, which is more predominantly going to be.
I must say the US market probably, or
no, it was, well, it's for us right now is that we basically had hardly any loss. We had some loss, of course, of people who were concerned, and yes, they were coming out of the gas. They were the Chinese were actually still coming, so that wasn't an issue. The Europeans, obviously, because of the flight routes, was obviously as well a bit of a concern. But one example as well, seconding what Jyoti was saying, we had one company pretty quick, basically the next day when that all started. There was a large event in October and a MICE event talking about 150 rooms for 3 days, which was important business for us. They then decided that they would like to move it outside the Middle East and going to a different country, to a different continent in actual fact. But then everything obviously calmed down quite quickly. We obviously, as you said, Jyoti, we were holding the hands, we stayed in contact with them. And then once they all saw that all the airspace are opening up, the peace talks and whatever, and then they actually returned back to us. So it was a quick decision that companies made, but very quickly as well, then turned around. It was a bit too fast paced for them to make that decision.
Yeah, for sure. Jeroen, you seem to be a very resilient general manager. I know you for quite some time now as well. You all three are very resilient. And I was wondering, do you have moments sometimes when you say, my God, why didn't I pick another profession at some stage when it becomes really, really tough? And what do you think in terms of leadership and calm leadership, and still keeping your sense of humor, which is fantastic? What do you think other people from around the world could learn from you? I mean, are you would you
learn from me? I have no idea. Listen,
I mean, but you love your job, or are there moments where you're like, my God, why did I not pick something else?
no, listen, I think maybe, I don't know, but the older you get, I'm not saying the wiser you become, but I think you kind of know what to do, what's coming, what's next. And you know, I always tell my team as well, we're not saving lives, okay? At the end of the day, it's hospitality business, and that means to make sure that your staff is happy, your guests are happy, and your owner is happy. And you know, I think one of my guiding principles over the years has been to just be very honest, you know, don't sugarcoat things, because people want to hear the truth, including your team. You know, I think be empathetic. You know, everybody at the end of the day, I said it yesterday, I had a little training here with some leaders. At the end of the day, what do people want? They want to be heard, they want to feel part of a team, they want to, you know, feel that they're contributing to the bigger thing. And they're just human like everybody else, no matter what your title is. So be empathetic, be present, you know, make sure the team knows you're around. Don't micromanage them, and show your vulnerability. I think that's very important. Make sure people know that I don't know it all, for sure not. You know, but there's many leaders that, you know, pretend they know it all, but people look straight through that. So you know, resilience is you know, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very loaded question, but just be human, I think, is really what you need to do. And I wrote a few things down. I'm just trying to read it, but you know, it's again, it's everybody is the same, no matter where you come from. If you're from Nepal, if you're from India, the basic needs are the same. And I think also, you know, one of the reasons that, you know, I'm here 7 years now, for a GM to be in the same property, you know, people are starting to think like you're part of the furniture. But, you know, if you have a good relationship with your owner, if you have good relationship with a lot of repeat clientele that we have, a lot of loyal guests, you know, they come back for the people. And so, yeah, there's really no secret to the sauce. You have to have a team that, you know, a great team makes me shine. I'm not the one who does the job. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, does that answer the question? I'm not
sure.
sure.
Definitely. No, I believe, you know, we see ourselves, I probably all of us, but we at Lobster also, you know, we really want to encourage younger people as well to work at the tourism industry. And we are so passionate, all of us, of what we are doing. We love this industry. I mean, at least I can feel it from you, and I know from us. And I think it's the best industry in the world. And it sounds very pathetic, but it is, and we mean it. And we want to encourage young people to obviously join us and join this tribe of tourist people in the luxury, especially in the luxury segment, because it's great, and we have to be flexible. Alexander, you don't seem to be a person that regrets ever being in this position you are, right? I think we cannot hear you. You need to.
Yeah, I think I'm muted. Yes, sorry, but even that, usually the Germans wouldn't say that, but I actually agree with Jeroen that I think we seem to be having the same opinion, and I admire that. That it's the same. I honestly meant exactly what Jeroen has been saying. That I've been doing it for 38 years now, And it is exactly what made me tick were usually the teams, and it's now the UAE is my 14th country I live in with my family, and we've been seeing it in different continents, and I loved every single minute of it, of being together with the different cultures in the different countries. Being resilient is that obviously all of us, we've been in difficult situations, let it be the crisis. Some countries, I had civil unrests where people were going to loot the hotel, and it was quite critical in many ways for the families, where then the families, actually not only the employees, but actually the families of the employees, they came to the hotel, defended the hotel, that it's not going to get looted, because it is our home, and we are there together. And apart from that, there's basically whatever Jeroen has been saying. I can only second that. It is being honest, being straightforward, being with empathy, saying of no sugarcoating the way you said it. That's exactly the way it is. And that's the way I lived my whole life. And I encourage my kids and obviously all of my colleagues and employees to do the same. Only if we are able to have been able to go in the same direction and have, we call it here, psychological safety, is that there is no harm in saying something, see something, say something, and it doesn't matter in which department you're in. If room says something to F&B, it's not to annoy them or to upset them, but it is to make it better. And that's what I always encourage all of my teams and trainings we do, that we need to continue going in that direction.
Right, absolutely. And you guys are all very authentic. Jyoti, you are a woman, obviously. And, I mean, it might have been a little bit more tougher. I mean, you've chosen this job, you're there forever, but has it been tougher for you to be accepted by your team? I think you have a huge team to handle as well. And yeah.
As you know, Astrid, you're a woman as well.
Yeah.
It's never easy in living in a man's world. And sometimes I came here in 1978 when it was very much in the embryonic stage of development. The whole nation was you had more sand than buildings that you see at the moment in this part of the world, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi both. But yes, it was the challenges I faced, not so much internally with the team, but I faced talking when I had to work with government organizations like the port authorities, like the airport authorities. It took a little bit of time for the acceptance, but I think as a woman, if you maintain your composure, your dignity, and don't bang on the table asking for women's right, but try to keep that dignity and compassion, I think it becomes much easier to work in this Arab world. Basically, because this is what they appreciate, that you still convey your message, but you do it in a very nice and humble manner. And I think that has taken me through all these 40 years in this industry. And I work a lot more closely with the airport and the port, because as you know, TRAVCO is one of the major operators handling cruise ships. I mean, we take care of about 30% of the cruise business in this part of the world. And it's been all the time you're working with government officials. You're sort of more or less neck to neck with them at night, in the morning, trying to get the job done. But yes, I think all good things to say. It works, and and we have more and more women management in our organization here, both in UAE, Oman, and other places as well.
Yeah,
so
that's great to see. That's great to see. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, great achievement. Wow.
Yeah.
And you still have such an open heart and a great smile, and that's really great that you kept that.
I agree. Sometimes I feel, am I doing the right thing, or I should have taken another profession? But no, when you see the smile on the face of the client, or you get a small note of thank you, I think that wipes off all the anxiety and the concerns you have. I think this speaks volumes more than anything else.
Absolutely. No, definitely. Yeah, I would like to close with the last round of questions, actually, to all of you, round up the conversation. I'm going to start with you, Jeroen. And I would love to hear from you what you're looking for the remaining year, besides a lot of room nights, of course. and anything special you want to share with us in terms of things you're looking forward to, highlights that are coming, or anything you would like to share with us. I think this was a already very confident 30 minutes, because for us, as we said, sitting outside there, I had so many conversations as well, because we are bringing Loop to the Middle East, etc. But I was very happy because it was not the conversation, no, we are now thinking of not coming. It was just being reassured. And if we in the tourism industry, if we don't go with a good role model, how would our guests be? We are complaining guests are canceling, but then in general, we need to be the first ones to be out there. Of course, if it's not risky, which it's not, what we know. So in terms of, it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely worth working and being positive and being, rightly positive. So what would you like to share with us, Jeroen, for the next couple of months? You got challenges, of course. I don't know, is team members, you got some team members you're losing because there might be different nationalities and they just don't want to stay, or anything you would like to share, positive, negative, for a roundup final word?
The only staff that left because of what has happened are 2 interns, because their parents that were in Europe were so worried.
Yeah.
Things were so bad here.
Yeah.
But they went closer to Ukraine and we are to Iran, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No, listen, there is really, I would say the year looks good. Yes, July has a little bump, but every year we have a bump somewhere. So this year it's July. And August and onwards looks very good. And, I checked, and Jyoti did too. We checked the German government website, and they're still saying that, don't go to the Middle East because it's a shit show. But it's not. It's actually a great place. Yes, it's a bit hot at the moment, but as well, the rates are down for summer. So it's not a bad place to come for summer neither. I can tell you that. And it's not empty at all. We're actually, business is still good. So no, there is no, the message is, pick up the phone and call me directly, and I'll tell you what's going on the ground. And we are still going to the German market in October to make sure we meet our partners. Super. And, I hope my sales director, who's also on the call, invites me to come along, maybe for once. But then I can meet you all in person. But no, things are good, and I really encourage you not to be too worried about sending your guest towards our region. And if you have any questions, you want to ask privately or off screen, please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll be happy to help you. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
fantastic.
You.
No, definitely. Alexander, what about you? Your final close-up words was.
I know what my final close-up words will be, Astrid, and I think you can imagine what that might be. But nevertheless, it's the same here. It's that overall the year looks great towards the end. It's that the first half actually was amazing, was much better. That in April, my hotel itself was running at 93% occupancy in the month of April. And that was one of the best months the hotel has seen for a while. So business is definitely coming in. The business looks good, specifically for us as well from August onwards. So we are not too worried about it. Next year, we're looking at it very positive, in the same way as Jeroen works together with the Dubai tourism. We work very closely with Abu Dhabi tourism. We have regular meetings together with His Excellency. He's very keen on promoting the tourism here in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, many of you know about the concerts and other things which are happening, which is pulling in people from all over the world. Especially in January, there was a big concert which had a big impact, much bigger than everybody thought here with us. And that's, I think, going to continue. But the most important thing, what's going to be happening is an event in October, no?
There's somebody coming with a lot of fantastic clients.
Somebody coming in October.
Yeah, somebody's
coming.
That
is the most important event I'm looking forward to, Astrid.
Yeah.
Loop is coming to Abu Dhabi. So, and I think some of you, I guess, maybe all of you who are now on the call, I'm looking super excited as well and welcoming some of you, all of you, then as well to the Grand Hyatt. And or as well then to the St. Regis, I think, is then the other event where it's going to take place for the MICE part, where I will take part of it as well. And in the same way, obviously, if Astrid can share, I think our data, then afterwards, more than happy on a personal note as well. Obviously, reach out to us anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank
no,
you.
definitely. Thank you. And what about you, Jyoti?
Yeah, I think I'll echo the sentiments of both my colleagues here. The Q1 and Q2 have been very good, and I think we were looking for a good summer. But this, I think, is just a little bump in the scheme of things in the wider picture. And I'm hoping that August, September, we'll be able to recuperate whatever we have lost in June, because there is peace. We can see the ceasefire holding, and Germans. And one more thing, yes, I would appreciate, like Jeroen said, to get the travel advisory off the Foreign Office website of Germany. That would really help in helping the Germans to make forward bookings as well. Because, you know, a lot of the forward bookings are made by them, and Germans follow the book, as we all know. So I think getting off the website would be a good bonus for all of us. But otherwise, yes, we are looking forward to a warm welcoming you, the MICE business and the leisure groups of Loop in October, as we are partnering with you, handling the logistics for you. And I think, like last year, we look forward to working closely with you and your team. And of course, yes, hoping the next two, the Q3 and Q4 remain as positive, and business remains on the books as normal, and we all have a good 2025.
That sounds fantastic. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we did not only have Germans here, was Carlos from South America, by the way, a close friend of mine from Lufthansa City Center. It's so great to have you. Great. Thank you so much for the time given, and for this wonderful, short and sweet conversation to talk about reality, which is great, and not the media reality. And yes, and we are happy to keep on promoting all of us Middle East and all of our great partners, our loopers out there, our lobster friends, our community since many, many years. And we are thankful for that we can be in this community together. And yeah, and so the next subjects, the next loop phases are going to come up, and then we'll take it from there. Wishing you a lovely day, and sending you lots of love. Take care.
Ciao,
Bye.
Thank you
ciao.
again.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
All the best. Good luck.
Tschüss.